like this episode. That's my terrible Welsh accent again.
Even our dogs like this episode. Oh. Episode 7, Keeping Faith. Oh my God. Started with funny chap with hair that was long, now short.
Still unexplained.
Still
weird.
Yeah.
Still weird.
I really like
and
him.
makeup. We really like him, but it was
No.
weird.
Someone said that he did comment on the fact that he'd lost his hair at one point earlier. Anyway, so she looked at the car plate number, didn't she? And then she had the...
But I found it a bit confusing because she went, bastard. So I thought at that point, when she saw that on the phone...
that's right.
That it was her car plate number.
Yes.
Because she seemed angry. It was really confusing.
No, I think she was just
Eve,
angry.
tell us what was going on.
No, she was angry because she realised it was D.I. Williams's car plate.
So was she calling D.I. Williams a bastard?
Bastard, yeah. I tell you what, this
Strange
episode...
word to use for a woman, though.
Really?
I thought she was referring to drug dealer.
Oh, okay. Well, anyway, the most notable moment, I think, in the first 5 minutes was that the USB went into her cleavage.
But before we get to her cleavage, can we just say, I loved it when she went and gave the nosy neighbour what for. Loved it.
No, there's a lot of angry faith in this. A lot of angry faith.
That. She's just about had enough.
Yeah. I think
she's gone more Welsh than ever.
I realised that poor old Brad, her husband, you don't want to get on the wrong side of Eve, do you? She accesses sort of Welsh rage.
Yeah, really good.
In an instant.
Really good.
That's my mother in the background.
Didn't she remind you a bit of me when I go nuts?
You're just like... I mean, the weird thing is, there's a sort of strange parallel going on here. And Brad... Oh, anyway, we'll get to Brad in a minute. But, so Faith calls the blonde woman. The blonde woman reminds me... Toffee.
Just telling the dog to go away.
Toffee.
Go away. Stop it. You've had your breakfast. Go away.
Go away. The blonde woman who's the sort of godmother of crime.
Yes.
There's something about her that's deeply believable.
Oh, God, yes.
Do you know what I mean? There's that sort of slightly shabby at the edges, but sort of incredibly strong.
Laurence Olivier once said, I'm not a good enough actor to play a small part.
Oh, that's a good line.
And she has had hardly anything to do, but she's extraordinarily powerful.
But what's she been up to with Evan?
Evan. Now, could it be that she believes she had more with Evan than she did?
That's exactly
which is
what I
suspect.
think.
No, you didn't. You're
no,
trying
I
to
didn't.
get
No, I
women's
imagine a
intuition.
lot of women feel that with Evan.
So I think that's what was going on. And so she thinks they had some sort of an affair. She's alluding to the fact, but I think it was all in her own mind.
No. She said he's an interesting and complicated man.
Does he like dressing up?
I've never been called well, he does like dressing up because we saw him in the next scene with a wig. My God, here we go. I had a vision here of Evan and Brad, the actor. Here was a moment. He had a wig on. He was smoking fags. He was at the Candy Lounge. I want to join you for your weekend. Looks like cracking fun. But you saw. I thought that was all quite well done. It was quite eerie. It was a bit Scorsese-like. When they went into the club, it was not too much was said, and we were just left hanging. I thought, and in fact, just dropping back a little moment there, I really liked the way this episode was shot and edited, especially not just because Eve was in the shower, but the shots are actually rather beautiful of the water and it was a real, sometimes you can have these longueurs that kind of go on for too long, but you never.
That word?
Longueur.
I don't know. Like
it sounds great though. It's like longueur,
like
sort of a French desire to hang around for a bit, which I'd do in a shower. But the shots for the sake of shots, because the shots simply just let you breathe and what have you. And I think this is a good series for that. I do think it lets things breathe, and allows you to sort of go a bit deeper into the characters, which I really like. We saw a real different side to Evan there as he was, and I don't know why it's funny, isn't it? When you see someone smoking a fag, it sort of makes you rethink people these days, doesn't it? Smokers.
Yeah, it's
because we used to smoke all the time.
Love it. Still miss it. It's like a bad boy lover. You knew you had to let him go, but
I sometimes
you always
walk
hankered
past
a little
people.
after.
Yeah, walk past people outside buildings, and I sort of almost want to just grab it and just have a quick one.
But he goes into this club and he hands over £300,000.
That is a lot
and
of
the
money.
guy says, "See you next week."
Yes.
So we immediately know that this is enormous. What he's embroiled in is a big deal.
And regularly.
Once a week.
He's a frequent offender.
Once a week.
Yeah. I love. We then went to a scene which I think I'm finding the brother Terry and his wife, the sister of Evan, fascinating little relationship there.
What a great scene when he comes in, she's on her knees just doing the lemon meringue. But I think there's a lot of people like that around in the world that are very medicated, very prescription drug medicated, and it becomes the norm. I mean, he didn't bat an eyelid.
Well, he kind of did. He kind of said,
Well,
are you all right?
Well,
Which was a kind of
I
understatement
think I'd
of
have
the
done
year.
a bit more than, are you all right?
I kind of like the way Terry takes everything in his stride. Terry's unflappable. He's an unflappable man, and I love him. I love his baldness. I love his eyes. I love everything about Terry.
I think he's a bit in love with Faith.
Yeah, you keep
She's
saying
never
that.
seen him that way, but...
He's not particularly perplexed or worried. He's not that sort of deeply worried about his wife, is he? He's sort of...
I hate Evan's sister, and I hate her mum, his mum.
Yeah, they're very good
What
at making
a
you not...
vile woman.
Yeah, what's
and
going
the
on there?
sister, I mean, for God's sake, pull yourself together.
Mm.
I mean, unless she's had some massive trauma at the hands of the mafia, I don't know, but she's just so
You see, I think we're going to find out
and
that
mean, and the way they've just let those kids just sit in foster care. Oh my God.
she got really excited about the fact that she'd rumbled the narrative twist of Sharp Objects on Sky Atlantic. But I feel a little bit smug that I'd kind of rumbled the connection that was going on in this episode with D.I. Williams.
Yeah, right at the beginning you thought D.I. Williams was
Right on
bad.
episode 1 I
But-
said D.I.
but you see,
Williams was
But
bad.
last episode I was starting to feel a bit sorry for D.I. Williams because I think she's caught up in something. All those dark circles under her eyes and everything.
She does
she's a
look
woman
tired.
in absolute terror.
She does look
but
tired.
then she does seem to take joy in it. She seems to take joy in stuff. She's
Yeah.
very sadistic. Like when she was in the cell with Steve
Baldini.
Baldini, which doesn't suit him.
He looks like a
She
nice
was just
chap.
taking such pleasure in it.
Yeah, one minute you sort of, there's a little glimpse of kind of, you think, oh, I might feel a bit sorry for you, and then she just kind of hammers in again with
Yeah.
a sort of D.I. Williams kind of... Anyway, so she frames Faith with an earring.
Tries to frame her with an
Tries to
earring.
frame her, yeah. But Terry, you can see Terry's not quite
It's so
sure.
obvious.
Well, it's so obvious. She may as well go, that's her earring, and I found it.
Yeah.
But, you know, Terry goes, I smell a rat.
I loved it when they came round to Faith's house and she just slammed the door.
Oh, my
and
God.
went, I didn't wear the earrings last night.
No, when she tells the
She's
younger
had it
woman
now.
to
fuck off.
It's like, oh my God, I could hear Eve say, fuck off.
Yeah, it was brilliant.
So many times. I thought that was great. You said there was a weird little scene with the secretary and Evan's dad on the bench.
Well, she's madly in love with him, always has been for years. She just admires him.
Really?
You know, he's a man of such honesty, integrity. She's never found a man like that herself. She lives alone, she's got a cat, she buys a meal for one. He's her everything. She would do anything for him. And we may see a massive twist for this, you know.
You're right. You're right. I tell you what, I hate...
And she said the same thing about Evan, always the same as your father. So honest as the dad. She's just too damn good at the moment.
No, I don't think she's too damn good. I think Evan's dad is a bit more in than we think. Now, the one thing I would
I
like
hate
to...
the way he's turned against Faith.
I loved
And
Evan.
the kids.
I loved Evan's dad.
I mean, we saw him
I know.
cuddling the kids and now he's going, I'll consider it.
Hang on a minute. I thought if I was Faith, I'd have slapped him more when he said that.
I mean, I have to say,
you
I
dropped
think
your high heels on the table. I'd have hurled them at him.
I think those scenes were a bit underwritten. Like, I think when she pleads with her brother-in-law as well to come to the court
Oh, right.
and plead for I just felt she would have asked, but maybe she just asked knowing that everyone had stepped back and no one was good. She was defeated.
I think
and
she
I felt
was.
she would have
I
gone,
think she was
think of
deflated.
Alice. She's alone. She's crying. She's Skyping me. I can't believe that she wouldn't have just said a bit more to try and get him over to her side. But then she could have made the choice that she's defeated.
But I think defeat...
No one's going to help her. She's on her own. She is on her
Defeat
own.
had kicked in. Defeat
I
had
have to
kicked in.
say, I thought it was a strange choice with the scene with the father-in-law and Faith in the car when he asks her whether she feels anything for Steve
powerful
Baldini.
scene.
It was a powerful scene,
You wanted to see their faces.
and I get it. I think it was good because it was like you'd know more as a director. Was it just like a brave choice to do it
Well,
from behind?
I think it was a bold
but I
choice.
wanted a bit from behind and a bit from the front, said the actress, the bishop.
Well, I can't believe you just said that. I desperately wanted a bit more from the front. No.
Do you know what I mean? It was I mean, I loved all that. No.
In that scene, well, because they're just both such cracking actors. I mean,
Yeah.
it was... I think what might have happened was they went... I'm not too sure, but I mean, it was such a powerful take. I mean, I was moved to tears. And you would argue conventionally, I want to cut round to see their faces. But you know what? The intensity of that scene was so authentic. I bet you only money they sat in the edit. And if they let the director have director's cut, he said, that's the most honest scene.
Right.
And I think you go for the most honest. It was so... I mean, I have to say, I thought it was a beautiful moment. Yes, you could quibble whether you cut into a close-up or whatever, but...
This series is so much about judgment, isn't it? Everyone's judging everybody. And
it's all those little...
she's under the microscope of a small town, and her father-in-law mother-in-law, who I believed was her friend, who was her champion,
Well,
so quickly he's turned around, she's in absolute
there was
dire straits and gone, all right, don't like you anymore then if you've got this vague attraction for the one person that is trying to help you and giving you a shoulder to cry on.
But that moment where they shared in the thought that he might be dead, I thought, and they became an entanglement of arms. I think that's why they called that shot. That's why there was an entanglement, and it was a clumsy entanglement of trying to comfort but trying to push away. I thought it was in the car scene between the father.
Clumsy entanglement. I thought you meant the one with Steve Baldini outside the
it was a
pool.
great clumsy entanglement between the father-in-law, and I think there was a fight. You felt his internal struggle, and then he asked. I thought it was heartbreaking because that was how I genuinely believe a scene would be played out. Say between you and my mother, or me and your father, if something had happened to our partners.
Because he might come back to her because there's that initial like, oh my God, I'm disgusted.
And he'll be so protective of Evan as well, wouldn't he? He'd be protective. But here's the other thing:
and let's not forget, he totally believes his son is dead, so he's in the grip of grief, terrible grief.
But don't you think it's a bit odd?
Doesn't even know he's not.
Do you think it's a bit odd that he burnt the Pedersen files?
Well, he didn't want to. Well, the reason he gave for that was that he wanted, obviously, to save the company the shame and give them a chance to make money with the sale, because obviously if it's a bent solicitor's office, who's going to take over the business?
Yeah.
But he's so utterly devastated by everything.
Yeah.
Could it be that he himself had been in a mess with these people?
Yeah.
He'd got it cleared up, and I'm going to tell you who helped him.
Yeah.
Because I said I would come back to this episodes ago. The guy that does the forensics.
Yes.
The guy that... Do you remember weeks ago?
He was in the dentist.
Do you remember weeks ago? He came to Faith and he offered her help, and she dismissed him too easily. And I said, it's going to come back that he saves the day. Do you remember?
Yes. He was in the dentist when Terry went to the dentist and said what the hell's going on.
But I think he saved the day when the father-in-law owned the solicitor's office and got him out of a jam. And part of why the father-in-law is so devastated is everything's come full circle, and his son was also entrapped by them. Put that in your pipe and smoke it.
So the father was entrapped too?
Maybe. And maybe he cleared up all the mess, passed the business on clean to his son, and then his son got done as well.
No, I've got a better theory.
What?
I've got a better theory. He knew all the connections were already there. He didn't tell his son and passed the company on.
Yes.
And his son inherited it without knowing.
That could be another.
And here's the other thing. Can I just count?
Because maybe, do you remember when they were around the campfire and he gave this business to his son, to Evan? Evan wasn't that happy. Do you remember?
Yeah.
And we've been led to believe it was just because he didn't want to be in the small town.
Yeah.
And maybe it's because he knows what goes on in the small town.
Yeah. And I think that the guy in the dentist...
And if none of this is true,
hang on.
I hope you put this into second series.
And I think the guy in the dentist, the FBI guy, the forensics guy, who was kind of, came to try and help... Who she dismissed. He was brushing things away in the dentist, wasn't he? Because obviously the dentist is dead.
Well, when he first went in there, I thought, oh my God, he's a dealer.
Shush.
Sorry, I'm too excited.
He's the dad of Evan.
I'll
bet you he is. I bet you he is. I bet you any money he is.
Oh my God, you were saying the nosy neighbour's Faith's mum next. That's
it's such a close-knit small community. Here's the other thing.
He's dead.
I desperately want to...
Evan's dad is dead. The mum told him that by the beach.
Oh, hang on a minute. On that note, Brad Freegard, what a phenomenal scene.
I loved.
On the coast.
We loved the scene.
I thought it was
crying.
so intense. I was so moved.
She is such a fucking bitch. I was so glad when you said to her, "This is it.
But
we provide for our families and then we die." We went a bit depressed after that.
Bloody hell, you see how hard
Sorry,
it is
I've
to
got
say
too
anything.
excited.
Can I just say, but for Brad, the actor, I think, for a show that's so much about you and is so focusing, obviously, on Faith and Eve's, performance, we're constantly getting a sense of you in it, and you weren't in it last week, and we really missed you.
We didn't like that.
Almost it's that thing of almost from a standing start to run into a scene like that. Obviously, it doesn't happen like that literally, but that feeling of being able to access the truth of your situation and circumstances with your mum like that. I thought it was such an intense, substantive and substantial scene that it just made me want even more of you. So I'm bloody hoping that whatever happens at the end of this series and we move into series 2, you're not dead.
Yes. Well, no, he can't be dead. He won't be dead. He can't be dead.
Better not be.
And the mother...
Otherwise I'll be down there with my mate from Swansea.
His mum. What a selfish bitch. She is unbelievable, and he gave her what for, but what an incredible actress. Thank you for your performance. We think you are fab.
And I want, when I'm a little bit older, because I'm not that much younger, I want Evan's dad's hair. He's got a great head of hair. He's got a lovely head of hair. I want to be able to just do that and it not fly off.
So, Baldini gets duped to selling drugs.
What about the really intimate scene between Baldini and Faith?
Oh,
on the doorstep.
It was a little bit awkward.
I felt a bit. Ooh.
I didn't.
I think it's because I felt loyal to Evan.
It was a bit too much.
I thought he was framing. You thought he was framing her for a photograph.
Well, for a minute, because it was so awkward, it was so obvious. I thought, what was this meant to be?
I thought.
I thought, because it's just so obvious and awkward, because it is a bit obvious and awkward about.
But let me just show you what they did. It would be like me talking to you like this. I thought it was going to go like that.
Yeah, it was a bit odd.
I thought that was going to happen.
Was that odd because they are so uncomfortable with it? It's odd as well. What was? I mean, God, we're going into the minutiae here. For Faith, knowing that she's been being photographed by the police before, I would be feeling very nervous in that house. I've just got to go and get my kids out of court, and I'm snuggling with him on the steps. To me, if I was the director, I think I would have hit the cutting floor with that. But maybe it was to throw us off the scent.
I'm a big fan of you, Terry. But when you said no in the car to Faith, I wanted to slap your bald head. You know, when she was trying to corral support from everyone.
I know.
It was just like,
awful.
come on.
Come on,
Someone pull your finger out. Give a girl a break. Anyway.
That lemon meringue pie missus you've got at home.
Yeah.
If it pissed her off, it would be all good.
Anyway, so we build to this culmination of her going to court to try and get her kids back. And Jesus Christ, it kicks off.
Oh, my God.
In the square. What a brilliant scene.
Loved it.
I love this scene. Can I honestly say...
I was devastated when she put the note through the...
Oh, does the front door. Let me just
get... One second. I'll carry on. I was devastated when she tore up the note and put it down the toilet. It was very clever, though, the way she did that. Photographed it, sent it to Sarah Connors.
I've got my Brad Freegard Evan figure.
Flushed it down the toilet, which I was worried about, and I think she might live to regret that she flushed the...
That was an incredibly compulsive move.
No, but she's now in mode of, I'm fighting back. She's in Terminator, mama mode. Nothing's going to stop her.
Faith the Terminator.
But then when Diesel Williams... I wasn't expecting that. She was arrested.
Do you know what? I haven't done this in years.
That was your car tyres.
You know the last time I did this was in Breaking Bad. I shouted.
He did, actually.
I went, ah!
He did.
I haven't done that in years. Well, like since Breaking Bad. Anyway, so Terry arrests D.I. Williams.
Yeah.
What a satisfying image that was.
Yeah, it was brilliant.
It was lovely.
We loved it. It was a great episode and we can't wait for the next one.
And I just need more. I want more of Evan. I really like Evan in a wig. I want him smoking and I want to meet him down the Candy Lounge.
There we go.
All
That's
right.
a date. Love you guys. Bye.